It just ends.
It does.
The opening just ends. We got to figure that out. It kind of just like clicks right in.
Maybe we could just do a fade. The
it should have a
starts
fade,
to fade,
maybe.
and then you know.
Yeah, I mean, it could look and sound better, but you know, we are what we are. Welcome to Loud and Nerdy on a Tuesday night. My name is JW Colwell. I am joined, as always, by my good friend and former high school person and friend in high school, but not the friends we are now, Jerry Kamora of the band Slapjaw. Jerry, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well.
It is a grand night at the at Loud Nerdy tonight. We have a really cool show planned for everybody. It is very rare that you get casts together after they've made a movie. And tonight we are lucky and happy to be able to bring a bunch of people together from a movie that's just tearing up the streaming charts. Last Known Location. It's available on Tubi. It's Amazon Prime, HBO Max,
Pluto.
Yeah, everywhere. Roku, everywhere you can get a movie, and it's a really great independent thriller. And we had met the director and star Danny Donnelly through the Not for Nothing show that we did a few months back with our good friend Brandon, and we said, let's come, we'll have you back on the show, we'll talk about the movie. And he sent us an email. Like, usually people go, no, I don't want to, why would I want to come back? But Danny does, so Danny's here. And so we have everybody coming back, and we have a good portion of the cast, some of the creators. We have Danny's wife, Aimee, who wrote the movie and starred in the movie. We have Jennifer Kay, who's one of the stars of the movie, with Brian Keenan, who's the cinematographer thus far. We don't know who else is going to show up in the green room, but they're here. They're moderately loud because they're all from like Northeast Philly kind of area. So it should be great, and we're super excited to have them. Let's get to the news so we can get to them as quickly as we can. Okay, so let's do box office first. I'm going to tell you right now, things got a little bit tighter today. Wuthering Heights was number one most of the weekend. But today, Goat, the animated movie, grossed $7.9 million and it is now a neck and neck race between Wuthering Heights and Goat, which, by the way, I saw with the kiddos. Fantastic. Lots of fun. Both boys yelling and screaming in the theater for the movie about Roarball and a little goat that wants to play a game with bigger, meaner animals. So super fun. But Wuthering Heights opened pretty big. It's kind of tailing off. It has a not a low cinema score, but not a great cinema score. Goat's cinema score, though, is A, which doesn't happen often. Could lead it all the way to Hoppers towards the end of March or towards the beginning of March. And it could become one of the bigger animated hits. Now, this company that we're talking about, this Sony animation company, they have recently produced some movies that you may have heard of, Jerry. They made a great movie called The Mitchells versus the Machines that premiered on Netflix. Fantastic. You should watch it. It's a great family movie about a family taking their kid to college and also fighting the end of the world robots. Great stuff. Really funny. It's a great movie. They also made some little unheralded gems about Spider-Man and Miles Morales, the Spider-Man Across the Universe movies. And they made this little movie that did some business last year, has some Oscar-nominated songs last year, a little movie called K-Pop Demon Hunters. And they are on fire as a company. They are just... And, you know, they have Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie coming out. And they're doing really well. Other movies that opened that were kind of like, meh. Crime 101 opened. Good cast. $90 million budget. Only like $17 million over the weekend. Not great. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Everybody is going to be talking about it in about 5 years.
It's a pretty cool poster.
It's a great poster. It's a great movie. Gore Verbinski. It's a time travel movie. It's fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. Sam Rockwell's great. Comes from the future. Basically, it's to stop an AI from becoming sentient. He has to pick a bunch of people in the diner. It's great. It's great stuff. And then the other news of the weekend is that this movie, Send Help. Sam Raimi is kind of a good director, kids. Send Help dropped a whopping 3% from its second weekend to its third weekend, and has now grossed $50 million, Jerry, which is great considering it only cost 40, and it's grossed about 80 worldwide. So it's one of the it's a big hit. And it's a great movie.
He doesn't make terrible movies, so
he really doesn't. He really doesn't. So, what I think is interesting is the box office building momentum. We have some big movies coming up. Nothing big coming up next week, although there's two that are interesting. This one is called Psycho Killer. It is written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote Seven.
I was going to say the Talking Heads.
Yeah, it's produced by the folks behind Barbarian, and basically it's about a state trooper who goes after a killer who's a satanic ritual killer. It's getting a lot of buzz in the horror circles, not necessarily, who knows, but horror movies are hard to beat at the box office. And then the other movie that's opening this weekend is How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell, which is basically based on the old movie Clubs and Cornets, or Hearts and Cornets, where basically the guy's an heir to a fortune, and basically he's going to go through all the heirs, killing them one at a time to get to the fortune. So nothing major. We have 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from Scream 7. That's the next big mega release where everybody theoretically will be either upset or in good spirits that Stu is back. Anyway, other things that happened today, new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped. Rich and I were talking about it last night that everybody is super concerned after the Super Bowl trailer didn't really land. I got the joke, but apparently everybody else didn't. They wanted to see the movie. So they released a new trailer today. And judging from the reaction, nobody's worried anymore, Jerry. Because the trailer's pretty awesome, and it's basically, the way it's set up is he's bounty hunting with Grogu and killing Imperials and going after Hutts for Sigourney Weaver's character. I don't know that I could have asked for anything better, to be honest. The idea that he's just going around killing people who sided with the Empire sounds great to me. I'm in. And coincidentally, after the poster and the trailer, nobody's worried anymore. Shockingly enough.
Right on.
Okay. So that was good news of the day. Bad news, of course, we have to discuss. We lost a legend this week. Yesterday, we lost Robert Duvall. And we went over it a little bit last night. Like the movies that everybody is talking about with him are this movie, right?
Yep.
And this movie.
Yep.
But he has so many movies. And don't get me wrong, as Tom
Falling Down.
What was that?
Falling Down.
Falling Down. I would say the one that I was thinking about that was always on HBO was The Great Santini.
Another good one.
Where he plays the father, and he's just he's a shitheel of a dad. Like, he's just really difficult to love. And then he won his Oscar in '83 for Tender Mercies, where he sang all of his own songs, thus becoming a standard by which other Academy Award winners are judged. Did you sing your songs? You didn't? Maybe you can't win, right? You have to kind of put yourself out there. He had so many, like he was in The Judge with Robert Downey Jr., Open Range, which is an underrated Western with Kevin Costner. And of course, he jumped to the TV miniseries he did, Lonesome Dove, which is widely regarded as one of the greatest Western miniseries ever made. So, a staggering loss of epic proportions, but he was 95. And I thought his wife said it great. And this is what he put out there, I guess, last wishes. In keeping with Duvall's wishes, no formal service will be held. Instead, the family encourages those who wish to honor his memory to do so in a way that reflects the life he lived by watching a great movie, telling a good story around a table with friends, or taking a drive in the countryside to appreciate the world's beauty.
It sounds like something he would have said.
That is exactly what I was thinking about. And then I was thinking about all of these things, right? He dies the day before we're doing this episode with these last known location folks, right? So not only we're going to talk about a movie that's a pretty great film that's on streaming, but we're going to rekindle our friendship with Danny Donnelly and the rest of his crew by telling some good stories around a table, in this way, an internet table with friends. And maybe we'll take a drive in the countryside and find out how they did some of the shots with the cars and whatnot in their movie Last Known Location. But Duvall, just so many great performances. Find something of his and watch it. And then I would also encourage you, rewatch The Godfather and realize, this is something I told Rich last night. Every scene he's in The Godfather with are with heavyweight actors. He's with Pacino, James Caan, or Brando. And I would argue that he steals almost every scene he's in. Like, he just rips it out of there. Like, the scene where he chastises Sonny, right, for being too ridiculous and too, like, reckless is, and watching two actor styles, Caan's rampant charisma versus Duvall's measured Tom Hagen. Really fun to watch. And also live with the concept that he understood his worth. And when he was asked to join the Godfather Part 3 to reprise his role as Tom Hagen, and he looked down at the call sheet and realized he was getting paid 5 times less than Al Pacino, he told him to stick it. So Robert Duvall, a fantastic actor. Tender Mercy is also very good. He won an Oscar, and the only Oscar he won. He was nominated a lot, and he was the oldest nominated actor until Christopher Plummer got nominated a couple years ago. So rest in peace to Robert Duvall. And now for why we're here tonight, I'm super excited. I'm ecstatic. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall. And I'm excited to welcome cast and crew from a movie that is tearing it up on the internet streaming charts everywhere, and it's available in a lot of places. But before we do that, let's get some comments. Good evening, all. Good evening, Joe Ridgely. Thank you for joining us.
Joe,
Allison Kessler. We're so excited for this episode too. But we hope you feel better. We heard you're feeling under the weather, so we wish you the best. Good evening, friends. Hi, Ken. Or Canada Ken, or Canuck Ken, whatever you want to call him these days. Cindy Kamora, good evening. Hey guys, Mariposa, thank you for joining us. Ryan Rest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Scream 4,543. I don't care. It's one of my favorite franchises, so I don't care. But Danny mentions Colors. Colors was one of the ones I was talking about. Colors is fantastic. We're going to talk to him about that. We're going to get them in now. I just realized I looked in the chat and Danny's sending us messages. Hello. Oh, you're welcome. You said you feel better. Get some honey and tea. Always good for actors.
Hot toddy.
Are we ready to welcome these folks? We'll start with director, star of the movie, also starred Not for Nothing, Mr. Danny Donnelly. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Thank you for coming back. We appreciate that. I mean, even when we got into a fight about the Eagles and the Raiders, you still come back. I appreciate that.
It's only because the Eagles lost this championship. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll come back.
Yeah, we beat the Raiders 31-0. Look at it that way. Let's be happy about things. I'm ecstatic that we're finally gonna get a body and a voice and a head to the person that threw you an Eagles hat the last time you appeared on Loud and Nerdy. Please welcome writer and star of the film, Aimee Theresa. Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. That was a good throw, by the way. That was a very good throw.
I try.
Yeah, it's my back.
Yeah, she represents and also takes care of her own. We are also pleased to be joined by the cinematographer of the movie, Brian Keenan. Welcome, sir. He's been very quiet up until now. How you doing?
What's up?
Mike's working.
He's the deliberate type. Yeah, we had to make sure the mic was working. Like we don't know. He's very deliberate. He's like, can I just take a picture of it? And we're also super excited to be to welcome one of the stars of the movie, one of the big three in this incredible thriller, Jennifer Kay. How are you, Jennifer?
Hi.
Cool. Welcome. She was the first one here tonight. She doesn't want anybody to know that. But she was super early, and she's like, "Am I super early?" I'm like, "Yes, you're super early." And she's like, "But I'm 2 minutes late." I'm like, "Yeah, but I knew what I was doing when I was inviting actors. That if I said 8:45, that meant 10 to 9.
Did she have to watch you doing this?
Yes, she was here. Yeah, she was here for the last picture drop. So let's talk a little bit. Let's get everything going. Let's get it, because you guys haven't been together since the movie was made. The movie was made during COVID. What was the thing that brought you all together, Danny and Aimee and Brian and Jen? What brought you together for this movie? What was the impetus? What happened?
Well, we all go way back. I mean, we've been working with each other for a while now. Different projects. Brian and I go back. What is it? Almost like 20 years now, Bri? Something close.
Yeah, something like that, probably.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so we've been working together for a while. We worked together on Jen created a web series called Certifiable. We worked together on that.
Season 2 coming, correct?
Yes.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we literally shot season 2 right after wrapping production on Last Known Location. So we jumped right into shooting that second season. So it was like back-to-back, like feature films, kind of. Yeah. It's pretty intense shooting schedule, but we got it done. But the edit's still taking time because, like, we all work other jobs and, are hustling and grinding. So
because life intervenes.
Always.
Yeah, there's bills.
They never stop.
Yeah, Aimee, so you wrote this, but it was an impetus of like a short film first, and then let me ask you a question as somebody that's like written stuff and had scripts, and sometimes things get on the page and then they kind of like creep out in other places. How did you sit down and realize with Danny and everybody else you're collaborating with that you had a feature-length film? The movie runs an hour and 54 minutes. So how did you figure it out that it went from a short to a feature-length film?
So we collaborate a lot. I wrote probably like the first, like the short itself was like 40 some pages. And Jen was like, this is too long for a short. Danny was like, this is too long for a short. But both of them were like, I think you could make this a feature if you just change it up a bit. So I get a lot. You could, like Jen was like, maybe a detective, add that. Danny was like, why don't you take him out of the basement? So it was kind of like everyone threw ideas at me, and then I just decided to take what I had and break it apart and sort of put it back together.
It reminds me.
Where did the inspiration come from to write this kind of a film?
It's like a couple different places. I am a little bit fascinated by true crime, and there are a lot of cases where people are held captive for long periods of time, and I think that's a frightening concept, especially if in a neighborhood. Like that whole idea that you could be walking down the street and somebody has someone trapped in their house. Like that idea, I think is
wasn't there was a house in Cleveland that had like 14 people in the basement, and it was like they walked every day, and the guy was like a walking guard or something, like some weird, just crazy.
Yeah, yep. that was a case that was inspiring, like that. And then there's another case out of Austria, and then there's some in Philadelphia, like Gary Heidnik. People brought that name up as something that reminded them of. So that's sort of where it came from. And then the idea that I thought it would be interesting that three women who probably have no business being in each other's lives, but they know each other. How do they know each other? They have this commonality of being abducted
and being survivors.
Yeah.
So Brian, when you're shooting a thriller, I was looking at all the cinematography. I'm going to say something to all of you right now. We watch a lot of independent films on the IndieEscape network. I watch a lot of stuff. This might be the best shot independent film I've ever seen. And I say that to you as somebody who I dig the cinematography on Sinners, and I get this, so I just think it's really well shot. What were your shooting styles? What were you shooting on? Is there any drone work, or how did you get the early shots of the car? There's a really great shot, a tracking shot of the opening shot of the car after you do the radio, where the car is driving and there's like an aerial view. Is it a drone?
Yeah. That was I think that was the only day we did drone, or I guess we did some drone stuff in the city too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would add to that and say, on top of everything he just said, where does your inspiration come from to film like that?
I feel like you're because I'm being quiet and you're trying to bump me up.
No, I will not ask you another question if that's what you want. We are just happy to have everybody, but I'm impressed with your work, and I wanted to get in. Jerry's right. What's the inspiration? But also, it's really well shot, and I don't say that about a lot of stuff that I watch all the time. So I just wanted to give you a compliment as well.
I think specifically about inspiration, like Danny said, it was 7 years ago at this point. So even pre-production, 8 years ago, where we're trying to figure out our inspiration, how we shot it and stuff. I remember being excited about telling a mystery story, like the detective elements of it, and the sort of proceduralness of that, and how you kind of give. I think when I first read the script, one of my favorite things about it was how it kind of gives the audience pieces of information, little by little, to kind of put together they can kind of put the mystery together on their own alongside the detective characters, which I guess in some ways are kind of surrogates for the audience, really. Mm-hmm. So, in the way you shoot it.
Well, I mean,
talking about other inspirations is the basement being just creepy as hell and stuff like that. It's kind of movies like Saw and stuff. You guys seem like horror guys,
Yeah, we are. We definitely are.
I do remember one conversation that I remember during pre-production was there's a movie that came out about a lady during Hurricane Katrina getting attacked by an alligator in her house or something.
Oh, was that Rogue?
Rogue is the one about the Australian alligator. Crawl is the one about.
That's the one.
Crawl, yeah.
Crawl. It's called Crawl, and actually, it's a Sam Raimi production. Just in keeping with the Sam Raimi love. It's Barry Pepper. It's actually the kid from Saving Private Ryan, the sniper, is the father who gets stuck in the hurricane.
Oh wow!
And he gets put in the basement.
Yeah, I remember randomly watching that, and I was sending Dan screenshots of different, because so much of it is in the basement of that house or whatever, and there's kind of cool lighting things and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's a terrifying movie. It's. And yeah, you kind of have an alligator creeping around. He's a predator.
He didn't like my idea.
Well, yeah, and also the basement also has a Silence of the Lambs kind of vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The blue toilet was the best, though.
Yeah, we found that on Facebook Marketplace. Because that was all Aimee and I set designed that basement the week before we shot. So putting the chains in and doing all the the concrete curb with the chains in it, the toilet running fake plumbing and everything. Yeah. So, and then talking about pre-production, Brian, I know we were talking about Crawl. You were talking about the lighting, and then also how we wanted to shoot the aspect ratio was we shot 2:3:9, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. We did choose to shoot it with like a little bit of an extra wide aspect ratio because so much of it takes place in that basement, where we're kind of compressed into like an underground space anyway, and you know, a lot of times with cinematography, I just always think about putting yourself in the shoes of the characters, right? And like, if you're in a basement, like what's important is more what's horizontal information, obviously, rather than up and down information. So that was a choice.
Yeah, and, I storyboarded basically the whole film beforehand, and when I was like boarding, I knew certain films that popped in my mind were definitely Silence of the Lambs. Some of those early, Aimee mentioned Kiss the Girls when she was like writing. Like, those early
the Morgan Freeman movie.
Like those 90s, 2000s gritty thriller films where they felt dark, they felt, they just felt so gritty. And then like I know lighting wise, I was even thinking of like Prisoners. There's a lot of like dark, high contrast kind of shots and stuff in there. And
Prisoners is not a movie that gets mentioned nearly enough.
No,
in the world, it's
so good,
a fantastic movie. But with that, like when you're making this movie, Jennifer, because we haven't asked you a question yet, and I'm trying to hit everybody. You kind of get the bigger wraparound story than the other characters, so you get a little bit of freedom first before you get thrown in the basement. So my question for you is, I think one of the more interesting things that your character deals with is, I put it in my notes as love in the age of texting and ghosting.
Yeah.
Right. So is that something that you thought that you were dealing with, or you've dealt with, or you like, because you seem to come across it pretty well, and it's an interesting part of the script.
Yeah, I may have dabbled in that in my lifetime. It's funny, the chat, Marley's chat is actually a real chat that I had with someone. And then I like shared it with them and like, oh yeah, we'll use that chat. The Marley Keith
perfect.
Chat, like a real chat. Yeah.
Your real chats are perfect for our creepy thriller.
And it was a real dating like profile. Like it was, I pulled up like a real dating profile for like the quick swipe. Obviously you don't really see any of the people, but it was all legit. We were very legit.
It's good. You're not doing the Meisner technique. You're doing we're living art as life.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I ask a question? What was it like? So you have a married couple, right? And there's a hierarchy, and they're working together and they're creating together. Who's the easier one to work with, Jennifer? And this is for Brian too. Who's the tough one? Who's the one where you're like,
a trap?
Yes, it is. You've already been captured once. You can be captured again.
You'll get away again. Don't worry.
Don't worry. We'll let you go right at the end of the show.
I love working with both of them. But
that's a great answer.
Amy's like my friend that goes way back, so like I was always gonna pick Aimee as the.
I understand. Favorite. Danny's hard to work with. I got it.
Danny's
no, they're both great to work with.
Danny's the difficult one. Got it.
I want to know.
Definitely me.
I want to know how husband and wife, after some of the scenes in that movie, how you go home and do you look at each other in a little bit of a different way sometimes because of how intense things can be in the film.
Yeah, you do. That's a great question.
You want to take that, Aim, or do you want?
I don't know.
That's a smart husband right there, Jerry. You want to take that one, honey?
Like from years to come. I was watching that face you made. That face you made was real, and I know it was.
we only got into one fight, really.
Yeah.
I think. And then I feel like
every
other shoot, we were just so tired and so focused on what we had to do next that I don't remember having any weird. We were just like, okay, did this, got to do this. Okay, we did that. Now we got to do this.
Mm-hmm. I think I was gonna say, I just think the one thing is like, I mean, we're besides as working partners, we're married, but we're also best friends. I mean, we been through it all together. So we've been together over 15 years now. So it's we we know each other. We did have one argument on set that, Brian, I don't know if you remember this. It was the oneer we were doing that you actually suggested, Brian, where we see them try to put the toilet back together and then swing back around, and Aimee had to do put the toilet back together a certain order. It had to be like lid, and the last thing had to be the flusher, and she kept doing it backwards every take. And I was like, and I was getting frustrated because we're running against time, of course, and everything. And I was like, it's this and this, and then we do it again, and then she would do it the opposite again, and then we had like an argument, and then
Jerry, you watched how that played out, right? Danny eventually blamed Brian for the fight. Super smart.
You're the
Like,
one
it's like, honey, do you want to take this? Oh, by the way, it was Brian's
that
fault.
idea you had.
Remember that idea you had, Brian, of coming back and making it difficult on my wife to put a toilet back together?
I kind of think this was the same day, but one of my favorite memories from that shoot is I had brought like a little DSLR with me. I was trying to shoot like behind the scenes footage whenever I had a chance. Mm-hmm. And I leaned into a room where Dan and Aimee were, and they were having like what was clearly like what I would describe as like a post-argument like hug of like, I'm sorry, I love you.
It was the same day. It
was probably the same argument, Brian.
That was it.
That you caused.
That was us making up. Yeah.
That you caused, Brian.
They're in there whispering, you know it was Brian's fault, right?
We're gonna blame Brian, right?
Danny, you're directing this. One of the things that I think is most interesting that I have to ask about, because you are coming from, Frank Tartaglia's sets, right? Where Not for Nothing, you're working on that as well.
The same time.
It's right around the same time. And what did you take from that set that you brought to this set? Was there anything that you took? Because obviously Frank had a lot of friends, and Frank was like, very, very much a communal filmmaker.
Yeah.
Is that something you're bringing to the table now that you came from that set and said, hey, this is how it should be?
Not necessarily. So we shot that. It was crazy. So Not for Nothing was like on a hiatus. And then when COVID happened, it like took a while to get into production and stuff. So I was actually cast originally as a different character before they went on hiatus. And then when it came back around to get ready to shoot, Brandon Brooks, which Brandon, he was casting, and he hit me up.
He's a huge troublemaker. No, I'm kidding. He's watching. I love Brandon so much. He's been on our network, and we were so happy to get him for the Not for Nothing show, and then which led us to you guys, which is another great night for the network. So,
and what happened was in the hiatus, Aimee finished the feature script of Last Known Location, and we decided, look, we're going to do this, not knowing what was going on with Not for Nothing. I wasn't sure when that was going to pick back up or anything. So we already started shooting Last Known Location. We shot all those basement scenes in November of 2020, and that was 45 pages in 5 days we knocked out. So I was already looking like that for spoiler. Last Known Location. But when Brandon hit me up for Not for Nothing, was like, hey, we're gonna and I was like, he's like, can you play Dirty Pete? And I was like, I think I can only play Dirty Pete because I'm doing a different film right now. And so but then we went into Not for Nothing. I think the one thing I learned was how much pressure like Tim and Frank were under as directors, because I got a little taste of it, but they were on a bigger production, more days and more characters, and we only have it's not many characters and stuff. So I think the one thing I learned was how to deal with stress and then dealing with different departments, which I didn't have that really on Last Known Location, because all the departments were all of us that you're looking at mostly right now. We're all wearing multiple hats.
Right. The stress they were under is totally different from the stress you were under being put on by Brian with these hard shots with your wife. I understand.
Exactly. So I know I'm kind of talking a lot here, but I was just saying, like, it was just I don't know what it was tough. I mean, I remember just being a whirlwind of going from not Last Known Location to Not for Nothing and back to Last Known Location production, because we shot over, almost 6 months Last Known Location on weekends and stuff. So that was
So a couple things. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some comments, and then we're going to show everybody the trailer. In case you haven't seen it, we have some people in the chat watching. If you haven't seen the movie, we're going to show the trailer for the movie. But let's get some comments first. And I think it's so Allison Kessler was supposed to be here tonight, but she's sick. And I also find it funny that the person that was in charge of COVID on your shoot is sick tonight for the reunion show. It's ironic, as you would say in an improv show. Yes, cinematography is so good. They definitely are. I assume that's Brian causing trouble. Howdy from Brett Wagner. Late to the party. Sorry, all. Welcome. That's Raven. She appears on our show frequently. Thanks for tuning in, Brett Wagner. Hope to speak soon. Sounds good, Joe. There's a whole conversation going on the side. This is hilarious. What a great chat. Thank you, Art. We appreciate that.
Those dating site chats.
We also pride ourselves on being not only informative, but moderately funny on occasion. Laugh out loud from Brandon Brooks. And then Brandon says, love you, JW. Hashtag the troublemaker. Look, call it like I see it, Brandon. Gabe says, Danny, how you doing, brother? Hi, Amy. Love Not for Nothing. Met Danny at the New York premiere. Gabe is another host on our network. He has symbolistic cynicism every once in a while on a Wednesday. And then he wrote, Danny and I met because of Brandon, who I met through the IndieEscape network. Yeah, we're kind of an interesting, fickle group of people that are all kind of like worming our way through like talented, gifted people on all sides, both filmmakers, critics alike, movie historians and the whatnot, which is what I do also. Question to the writer. She's a little late to the party, so she missed it. Ariel Castro filled a basement commitment with Gary Hecht. So she knew what you were talking about immediately.
Yeah.
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 So, okay. Dirty Pete was a different actor, like Danny said, but there's only one actor born to play Dirty Pete, and he's director on this screen. Aww. He called you dirty. Anyway, let's run a trailer for this movie, Last Known Location. Again, Danny, before we run the trailer, where can people find it? Now, I know I checked Tubi. It's not available on Tubi again on March 1st.
Yep. Yeah, so it's on Amazon. Right now it's on Amazon Prime.
HBO Max.
It's not HBO Max, is it?
I think it's on HBO Max. I don't
think it is. I mean, not that I know of. If it is, that's awesome. But it's on Amazon Prime, definitely. Fawsome, Roku, YouTube.
Maybe it was YouTube.
Yep.
My YouTube and my HBO Max are all mixed. It's like chocolate and my peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
All the popular torrenting sites.
Yeah, we did get torrent. We got that happened early on when the film came out. We got someone stole it and put it on YouTube.
Danny, introduce the trailer for us. What are we going to see in this trailer?
You're going to see.
No pressure.
You're going to see the trailer for Last Known Location.
There you go. Perfect.
Women who are
done. I'll take it.
Cool.
Amy's like, I'm the writer. He should have asked me.
Yeah, let Amy try.
He got
Amy, introduce the trailer. What are we going to see?
You're going to see the story of 3 women who are surviving an abduction situation. Last Known Location trailer.
Short and sweet. Now we see why you married her. Now we understand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Here we go. Here we go.
Help! Somebody please! Help me!
Don't hurt me.
bought a plane ticket, didn't I? Okay, yes. Okay, love you. Bye.
Marley's got some high standards, Si. I mean, she's looking for someone who can string a few sentences together.
I'm about to pick up and leave town for some better prospects.
I guess I'm not going to see you. You said you were going away for like a month?
Yes, that's right. It's a family thing.
Please. Who are you?
Try to relax.
Don't tell me to relax. Where am I?
We're trapped in this basement.
Somebody please help!
How long have you been here? 63 days. What does he want with us?
You got 2 missing persons. How long before somebody called about her?
I don't know, you know, meeting someone in person for the first time, it's a little intimidating.
You know, it's always the boyfriend with these things.
I'm not ready to let you go yet.
Seems that you got the ticket at one of the last known locations of one of our missing people.
He told me that if I tried to leave again, he'd kill me. I believe him.
Very scary. Aimee, I was thinking about this when I was watching it, and one of the things I find quite appealing about the movie, your concept that women being stronger together as opposed to being apart, and also how diverse the women in this movie are. And I was just wondering where like what was the impetus for that? Is that something where you were like, I'm determined to write 3 equally strong women that are completely different, or what were you looking to do?
Yeah, pretty much that. I like I said, I thought it would be interesting to take 3 characters who you really wouldn't ever see together, right? And the idea was that they are, the only reason they know each other is that situation. And I just thought that would be interesting. And it is really true, is that we are stronger together, even if we're very different. So that's kind of the concept behind it for me. Yeah.
Jen, when you're reading this script with these very strong female characters, 3 of them, as a matter of fact, and there aren't as many movies that are made with strong female characters, is it something where you're like, I need to find a way to get in this? Is it like you're obviously friends with Aimee, but is it like something where you're like, I want in because of how well she wrote these women?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think, it is kind of like an advantage, right? Because Aimee and I both like to write strong women, and we both like to work together. So I think we both kind of do the same thing, where when we write these strong women, we like kind of are like, you already know, like you want to like work together. So I didn't really have to convince her, I guess is what I'm saying. So I was lucky enough to be in kind of already, but I was really excited because all 3 women were just like a powerhouse. And I think for me, it was more waiting for Aimee to pick which one she was going to play. So I was like, well, which one am I going to end up with?
Yeah. Well, that leads to the question: is the one you got the one you wanted, or did you have your eye on somebody else, or what? Like, how did that break down, Aimee? How did you break down who you were going to play, and which one the 2 you were going to let somebody else kind of take a creative swing at?
So when I wrote this, I had 3 other people in mind, because when I write, I actually see pretty specific characters. Like I didn't actually even see myself in it. So when I was writing, I had different people in mind than who ended up playing the roles. But it it's not because they I had access to wonderful actors. That's why people who got cast. Like I knew Jen could be Marley, and I had a different actor in mind for Danae's role. But when we auditioned Sophia, she just was fantastic, and so we knew immediately as soon as we saw her read. I was like, that's our Danae. She's our Danae. So I remember too. Danny was like, I think you should be Callie. You kind of convinced me to. Because I wasn't sure. I mean, I wanted to play a part, but I think there was some doubt. I was like, well, I don't know. I wrote it. I don't know if I should play the part.
Well, Callie seems to be, of the three characters, the one that's lost before she gets abducted, right? She's in a bad spot. Like she's found somebody she really likes, but it's not actually going to play out and work out for her, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a testament to your writing skill, and also like the actresses you have playing it, that you have three very distinct women that are, again, it's more of a luxury than it should be, right? Three well-written, well-acted women roles in a thriller. Brian, let me ask you a question. You make ads in your professional life. Can you give me anything you took from an ad shoot that you brought to this shoot that you didn't think would work on this shoot but did?
I don't know, because again, this is like 8 years ago. I wasn't really doing that much like commercial type work back then.
Okay.
It's more likely the other way around, that I've probably learned tricks all over the course of this shoot. Like this shoot was such a
fine. Reverse it. Go ahead, do that. I like that. What did you take from this shoot that you threw into you do commercial work now, right? You're working professionally as a commercial person.
I mean, it was pretty damn low budget, this thing. Like I think that's the biggest compliment like Danny gets on it a lot, right? It's like people are shocked when they find out how low the budget was for hopefully how good it looks. So I think it's just about being like resourceful with lighting and stuff, most of it's all practical lighting. We were just putting in like little tube lights here and there to kind of accent things. And I mean, if you want to get like real specific about it, we shot the bar scene that day, and we brought practicals with us to like line up down the bar, these like hanging lights. And then like the light that ended up being right above our actors was like too harsh and just had these like real ugly, like rough to look at shadows. And like, just have the idea to like put a little diffusion over that specific light that's actually hitting our key subjects.
Yeah, that bar is actually a VFW that we shot at, that we had access to.
They don't need good lights in the VFWs.
Well, they had just fluorescent lights up in the ceiling, and I was like, we are not using them. So I went on Amazon and just bought a bunch of these plug-in lights and hung them from the ceiling. So I went more of a warmer bar, grungy bar, like, your corner bar kind of look, sports bar. But then then that was just regular light bulbs, practicals. And then, like Brian said, we would bring in like maybe like a hair light, maybe a little bit of fill, and then diffusion when the actors were too close to the bulbs. But yeah,
it's very noticeable. Jerry, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it, but was the whistling part of the script, was that ad lib? I mean, it added a great touch, but I'm just curious about it.
Go ahead, Aim.
No, it was in there. I wrote that he would whistle, and Danny couldn't whistle. He taught himself how to whistle.
I'm sorry, what? You don't know how to whistle?
No.
You put your lips together and blow. This is a Lauren Bacall thing.
It's my fault, dude. I asked.
Well, I think what Jerry brings up, the whistling is an interesting thing because it's been used in a lot of classic film noir, right? I'm thinking Night of the Hunter, right? Night of the Hunter, the Mitchum character whistles. If you bring it forward, the whistler that's most recent, that actually, in the last 3 months, Kill Bill came back out. Daryl Hannah's character is a huge whistler, going down the halls, getting ready to do damage.
And Negan, Walking Dead.
Negan whistles, yeah. So it is a very interesting trope, but you have to be really kind of a skilled person to pick up on the meaning, the Pavlovian meaning that gets set off in people who like film noir, right? And I think that's one of the things that your film ties into, all of you, is there is a Pavlovian kind of like reaction to the movie that is not common for independent films, especially low budget. You said the budget. What's the budget, Danny? What we got to do that now? What's?
We throwing it out there. All right.
Well, if you don't want to, we don't have to. Because Brian's right. Like nobody would know, and if you don't want anybody to know, we don't have to do it. But it's impressive, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a micro budget. I mean, look, not everyone, like we bartered, we worked favors, and we shot it over 6 months on weekends. Are we saying a number, Aim, or do we just say micro budget?
Micro budget's fine.
I think we have to stick with
micro budget's fine. Micro budget's fine.
Low. It's lower than you think.
It's lower than you think.
Lower than you think is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Okay. Some questions from the peanut gallery. Let's see what we got. What are some of your favorite places to film in Philly? Great.
I'm gonna throw it right there. I loved being able to shoot in the city with no one around. It was COVID, so it was hardly any people on the street. We actually had to bring extras to put people in the background of the street scenes, which are just mostly crew and other people who were. I mean, there was like 10 people that were able to jump in as extras.
So you're essentially filming in 28 days later is what you're.
Pretty much. But, yeah. I mean, we had to dodge just anyone in the background with a mask. Like that was the hardest part.
Okay, Brandon writes, huge props to Aimee for writing this amazingly twisted flick. Such a killer ending. No spoilers. We get in trouble on this network for doing spoilers. And to the whole cast, shout out to Sophia, Dax, Andrew, Glenn, and the rest of your dope cast and crew. Yeah, we wish everybody could have been here tonight, but we realized life intervenes and gets in the way of a good time. Nicely done. Never trust a whistler.
Yeah.
Why is whistling so creepy? Well, because not everybody can do it. I think this is a psychological thing. Whistling is creepy because not everybody can do it, and it requires you to actually be very focused on something, right? Like I think the way it ties to a serial killer or killers in general is the methodical nature that killers have. The whistling kind of keeps them on their path, is how I would describe Pavlovian wise. I can't whistle either, Danny.
Especially the whistle too. It's like you couldn't whistle a known song because I was afraid of copyright stuff. So I was just whistling to what felt right, like the tune. And what I was doing, I had no clue. I just did it in terms of the beats of what was happening in the scene. I didn't want to whistle an actual tune for copyright reasons or something. So
it's like you don't want to whistle "Happy Birthday." I can't imagine why. Can you explain the difficulties of filming during COVID to filming now? Like, what are the exact difficulties? Did you come up with any interesting, unique workarounds to get something done that you possibly weren't going to be able to do?
Oh man,
anybody?
I mean, the difficulties definitely, like I said, shooting out when we shot the outside stuff was avoiding masks. That was tough, like people in the background or anyone with masks, and then making sure that we paid for testing. We had COVID testing every time before we shot on the weekends and bubbled. So like 2 days before we would COVID test and then make sure no one got sick on our set whatsoever. We were.
Well, how could you possibly get sick, Danny, with masks like this?
Yeah, you buy whatever mask you can get at that point. A lot of them were sold out and stuff, but
somebody is a cool bear.
Aimee.
Aimee is a cool bear. But yeah, I did notice that in looking through the pictures, everybody is very background folks are very masked. I know that Allison is listed in the credits as the COVID coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very impressed that you got everything and you didn't have a single case on set, which is that's impressive. Let's see what other questions we got. Anybody else?
Any other? Sorry, go ahead.
Whistling is singing time on my side and falling. Yes, I think it's a very good trope. Is it so, Aimee? Was it an unconscious thing, or do you think the whistling was something that you're like that you just because sometimes it just happens where you're like, oh, this guy's gonna whistle, right? Or do you think it was something where you're like, I've seen that kind of happen in other movies? Was there inspiration or no? Yes or no?
I just wanted it to sort of be. I feel like whistling. It seems like it could be lighthearted, right? Like I think that's more where is I wanted it to be have the opposite effect of what like a typical like a whistle could. Like sometimes people like whistling. I know it's obviously it's creepy, and I wanted it to be creepy because it should be like a lighthearted thing coming from this very scary individual. Like that's kind of where I was headed with it, and uncomfortable.
No, I think that it really works because every time the door opens and you hear the whistling coming down the stairs, everybody everybody just tenses up ever so slightly, just white knuckle on the seats if we're watching it in a theater. Jen, I told you I was going to bring this up. What improv school? I know you haven't done it in a while. Where did you train at? What were you doing? Because you did some improv in your past. I'm mildly obsessed with improv, so just a question: who'd you train with? What were your techniques? What were you learning how to do?
I was
did you play games?
Yeah, we did the games. We did the zip zap zap and the other games. But I trained at FIT, Philly Improv Theater. I think it's on Ray Street. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's pretty well known in this area. But I did that for a couple years. It was a lot of fun. I was in my little group, and we did that. But
did you have a set night that you performed that you performed every week?
We were in class, and then we had like the it was a class, and then we would do this was so long ago, but we would do the performances, I think once a quarter or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I did take all the levels. Like I did take 1, and then I did take 2, and then I took 3, and I think it went up to 4, but then I stopped. I started doing more film stuff.
So I was also reading this is a general question for everybody except for Brian, because Brian's more of the cinematographer person. But with regards to your training, right? Did you start out on stage and then move over to movies, or was it you were filming and doing things, and then maybe you got some stage just to get a little bit to test the muscles a little bit?
Is this for me or
anybody can answer this? But the 3 people that are acting, because Brian, you're not an improv person, right?
Yes, I started in a.
Did you really?
No.
God damn it!
Just did it.
Don't fool me.
That's great improv, Brian.
That was horrible. I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. No, just the idea. I was reading some of the cast stuff, and I thought it was really interesting. Dax, who plays one of the cops in the movie, said that he likes bouncing around from theater to movies, and the idea that you're training different muscles in different ways. And I was just curious, the 3 of you, did you start out theater and then go movie, or did you do movie and theater? Now you're working both, trying to get better at your craft.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was theater. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Aim.
I was theater first, and then movies, and I do like to bounce between the 2.
Mm-hmm. I started out actually film first, and then someone recommended, hey, you should get theater in your resume, and then I started. But I was training in theater, but I didn't do any theater, and then I auditioned and started doing theater. And that's also where I got into learning Meisner. I was part of the Philadelphia Meisner intensive class, and that's where I met Keith, who plays Danae's dad in the flashback. That's where I met Dax, who plays the other cop. So a lot of like some people I've worked with as I met through the theater.
So for folks who don't know, and that might be people who are watching, you're referring to Sanford Meisner, who is a very famous actor from the 60s and 70s and has brought his technique all the way forward. Major people that have done it. If you've ever watched Jeff Goldblum act, he is a Meisner. He is a Meisner actor.
Sam Rockwell, I believe.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell as well. Yes. And you Aimee, you started out. You were a Lost Boy, from what I understand.
Yeah. My first ever theater role was in Peter Pan, and I played a Lost Boy.
Was this like was this like an elementary school thing, or was it like a professional production, or what was it?
Professional. It was at Drexel University, and I was a little kid, and it was really cool to be with like all of these college age people, and
you're hanging out with Peter Pan. It's got to be pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Is that something have you ever felt that high on a stage? Like, what was the performance aside from Lost Boy? What was the performance that you've been in that you're like, I love this so much and this is what I want to do the rest of my life?
It's very hard to say. I love being on a stage. Like, I feel like that is just super high being in that moment with the audience. So we just recently did a show called Indecent, and that was an unbelievable experience for me. I got to play Miss Hannigan, and that was so fun. I feel like I probably could have done that forever. In Annie, that's probably something So I don't know. Honestly, anytime I'm on a stage, I feel like it's just a high that you really
very hard to replicate.
Yeah,
different.
Different.
Right. It's the instant gratification versus the getting a review or getting things after plaudits for a movie. Totally different, right? Different. Instant gratification versus non-instant gratification. Okay, some more questions and comments as we're winding down. I don't want to hold you guys too long.
Oh, we're good.
Hi, I would really like to hear the cat sitter story again. You don't actually have to tell it if you don't want to. Okay. What's your cat sitter story? Let's go.
All right, well, we'll do it real quick. So the house that was used in Last Known Location is Aimee and our house, and the bed. And we had chains on the bed, underneath the bed. There was the padlock on the closet, on the basement door. There was.
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, so we had pickup shots to do, so we just left everything as is because we were shooting over, like I said, months. Well, we went away for a brief little bit, and we had a cat sitter come over to stay over. I mean, not stay over, but come and check on the cats. Completely forgetting about what our house looks like. It's just, natural to us in that moment.
Everybody's got 50 pounds of chains under their bed.
And chains wrapped around the bed and locks hanging. Yeah. So we came back, and every day, like, the cat sitter looks for the cats, like in our bedroom, everywhere else. So we walked in, we looked under the bed for our cats, and we're like, oh, there's chains here. I'm like, oh, the cat sitter was here when all these chains were here. And like, we were just like, oh, so they definitely are probably sending messages about our house. And that's okay.
The cat sitter also went downstairs where there's a makeshift bed and chains on the walls.
Well, also, little tip, the basement is actually my mother-in-law's basement, Amy's mom's basement that we used. So there's two her
two different houses. Thank God for that. It would have been very low. You would have got a very low rating from the cat sitter society.
That's probably one of the low ratings we got on IMDb.
So Allison, thank you for chiming in. And again, I hope you're feeling better. We took the SAG COVID regulations very seriously. We want to get this done without delays. It was truly a collective effort to make sure we all kept each other safe and healthy. I can appreciate it, and it's impressive. Did you know that there's currently a dialogue and discourse going on about your movie on Reddit about Swerve ending? I don't want to give out any spoilers.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't know about that.
I had no idea about that.
Here's the thing. It could be good or bad. Like, Reddit is so random. It could be like, they have a great swerve ending and we're going to put up a Reddit. Or it could be, I hate swerve endings and they should all die for making a swerve ending. And the discourse is not necessarily the best in the world right now.
If people rewatch the film, there's definitely hints to the swerve ending, so it doesn't come out of nowhere. There are little sprinkles and stuff. Do you
feel? Can I ask you a question? When you're making a thriller, do you feel, Aimee, when you're writing, Danny, when you're directing, anybody who's acting, do you feel you need the swerve ending, or you're not gonna, or like, was the swerve ending there, or did it become something where was it always part of the script?
Well, Aimee, go ahead.
Yeah.
It was not always part of this. Like, again, the first version was 40 pages, everybody in the basement. And then in order to make a bigger story, we did have to change. I changed some things, but then I went back and tried to make sure that it was warranted. Let's just say, but people will have their own opinions about that.
That's just so we're clear. 40 pages in a basement is a different movie entirely.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall was a Meisner Technicolor actor. Rest in peace, legend, just lost. Oh God, I see where this is going already. The BDSM cat dead dungeon cat surprise. Raven's unique. Raven love Rage. He comes with us on Tuesday nights.
That's our next film. That's our next.
It was a mixed bag, truthfully. Still, word of mouth always helps. I think the swerve works. It got me. I usually figure things out. I didn't see it coming, so I'm literally, most thrillers, I'm sitting there and I will turn to somebody and say, "Hey, that's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen," and it happens a lot. So you got me, which is, you guys don't know me from Adam, but
same here.
It's impressive. I've seen a lot of stuff.
I watched it twice. Actually, the first time I watched it, it got me the same way that he just said. The second time, I was able to see what you were saying, Danny, like the little things. I started to watch it deeper the second time, right? And I could see what you're saying, but I didn't catch it the first time for sure.
This is going to be my last question. So we know it's doing well on streaming and all these places. And I think every time we've had somebody on to talk about how a movie's doing on streaming or whatever, are you guys getting the recognition and everything you need to get for it to be the streaming success? Is it like, do you guys know that, like, is it, I guess I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap my mind around what I'm trying to ask. I don't want to know numbers or anything. I just want to know, can you guys look on like a page every day and go, yeah, 10, 20 more people or 100 more people watched it today or whatever? Is that because I don't think people who watch these movies online necessarily understand how any of the actors or the artists are getting credit for it. So that was my question. Like, are you guys getting the rich desserts you guys deserve for making this great little independent thriller?
I mean, I will say we did make our budget back plus profits in the first quarter. I mean, so that was because the film did really well on Tubi.
I don't mean to pry. It was just,
No.
I think it's a question that everybody has, where we're in the society where people are making these independent movies, and I don't necessarily think anybody understands how the economics work, right? I don't think anybody has a clue.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we don't have a clue. This is our first feature film, so we're learning as we go along. We learned a lot doing this whole process. But I mean, yeah, like the biggest thing, I guess, is just to say, like, so on New Year's 2025, Jen called Aimee and I and was like, "Hey, did you see that we're in the top 10 on Amazon Prime?" And you go on Prime and you see A Quiet Place, Red One, The Creator, Beekeeper, and then Last Known Location. Like, it's like that just blew our minds. Like, oh, this is bigger than we ever assumed. Like the fact
and
that
you're better. Just so we're clear, you're better than half the movies you just mentioned. You're better than almost all of them.
Yeah,
just so we're clear.
Well, it was funny because like I went to our IMDb before we came on tonight on Last Known Location, and there was 2 articles listed. One, it was like, what's this independent thriller making waves on Amazon Prime? And then there was one about Beekeeper and like how it was a streaming success, but it got beat out by the Equalizer, The Creator, and Last Known Location on Amazon Prime. And I was just like, I'm just gonna take that quote. Like that's pretty cool. Like
that's you could actually
budget. It's like
you could take that quote and be like, I beat Jason Statham. Take that. Take that, Beekeeper.
So I mean, like, we're hoping that this, kind of brings us into our next feature. We're trying to get off the ground right now. There's a couple, we have a few different projects. Amy's writing, and then our buddy wrote a horror feature that's finished that we're trying to get off the ground and actually do it at actual budget this time. And it's still tough. I mean, we're still nobodies. We did well, but it's we're not names per se.
Not nobody. Don't say that. You gotta have a healthy ego. You guys are making waves. And you beat out Jason Statham. Take that, Beekeeper. Take that.
I mean, he's still winning right now. He's
well, and also I just want to say everything I just said. I'm not in no ways to insult Mr. Statham, who could beat me to a bloody pulp. But yeah, it's such a winning movie, and it seems to be crafted with love. And then you take into account how good the script is, how good the acting is, how good the directing is, how good it looks, and you realize it's micro budget. And I just kudos to you guys for pulling it off. And we appreciate you guys so much, and we appreciate both you coming on the show. We appreciate you all taking time out of your schedules. We appreciate you coming on and chit-chatting and dealing with my stupid jokes, Brian. I understand. We're not going to be friends, Brian. I got it. Just you looking at me. I understand. That's not true. I'm completely lovable in every way. But it's such a pleasure to see people succeed and be also good people. It's not happening a lot these days. So, that's what you're working on. You're working on a horror film. I know you have a second season, Jennifer, coming up of Certifiable. Where can people find that, and what is that all about?
So season 1 of Certifiable we filmed in 2018, and that actually came out and was released right in COVID in 2020. So we had a really good festival run, but we weren't able to go to any of the festivals because it was COVID. So they were all digital. COVID. So we kind of missed out on a lot of that. But that right now we were on Amazon and Tubi for a bit. I think we might actually still be on Tubi. I'm not sure, but we are definitely on YouTube. We built up a little bit of a following over there, which was cool. And we have over 1 million views because we did shorts and stuff. So we racked up some views with all of our Certifiable shorts. But that was fun. But it definitely is a new phase. Season 2 is 1,000 times better than season 1. It's funnier. The characters are better developed. And it's just a blast. It's one of those guilty pleasures. I guess it's a lighthearted comedy wrapped in a dark undertone. There's it's 2 actresses who wish they were as famous as they think they are. They have this alternate world that they live in. They think they're famous actresses, but really they're committed to a mental health facility. So you play out both worlds, but the mental health facility is also still comical. So it's like Scrubs meets Schitt's Creek, and then they have a baby. That's the show. That would be the best way to describe it. Really.
I was gonna say I was gonna do my age and say Crazy People, the Dudley Moore movie, but where they create the ads. They create the ads for all the companies, and then these using all the mental patients.
I don't even know what that is.
Never seen it. It's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic movie, and I'm not saying it's going to help Certifiable, but it might. So you got that going on. That's super exciting. Anything else you're working on, or are you working with these crazy kids again?
I mean, I hope to continue to work with these crazy kids. Right now, we're all kind of working on Certifiable, trying to get that second season out. Because it's there. Like we just have to buckle down for like a month or two, and we'll be able to get that out.
And where can people find you online? Where can people find your what's your handles, all your spaces, where you're at?
Jennifer MK, Certifiable Series, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
When season 2 premieres, if you want to come back, we would be happy to have you come back and do like a certifiable show as well.
Yeah, can we wear our costumes?
Yeah, I wear a costume every time I'm on the show. I'm a Star Wars fan who also likes the Raiders and toys. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. I'm saying this not knowing what the costumes are, but
I know.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down. I don't know if you paid attention to the whole show we've done tonight. I'm pretty easy to get along with. Do whatever the hell you want. Yeah.
I forgot to wear my handsome man mask tonight.
Yeah, Jerry usually sometimes wears like just a mask that's right out of a horror film. Brian, what are you working on? And what are you doing? What are you working on? Are you working with the crazy kids? Are you working on all these shows? What do you got going on? Where can people find your stuff?
Mostly just shooting ads. I just had a major horror movie project fall apart, so I am available.
Sorry.
But,
now I look like a dick.
No.
Now I look like a total dick. Like, oh, Brian, what are you up to? Oh, did your horror movie fall apart?
Yeah. Just collecting unemployment, whatever.
It's horrible, Brian. I'm sorry. That's terrible. What about your socials? Where can people find your work if they're looking to make ads or do things? Do you work for a company or do you have your own company?
Philly Cinema on Instagram, phillycinema.com. That's me.
Nice. I like that. As somebody who's the movie guy online, I love the idea of Philly Cinema. That's pretty cool. Aimee, what are we working on? I know you just did this indecent show, stage show. What are you working on? Are you going to work with your husband again, or are you just going to kick him to the curb? Like, clearly every Eagle fan deserves to be.
Hey.
I think.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
I almost got shot twice. Just so we're clear, the Eagles Raiders thing runs very deep for me. I've almost been killed twice in Philly. Twice. I took my father-in-law the one game. We almost got thrown over where Santa got thrown over. Me, mm-hmm. It was a day where the Raiders won 45-10. It was a really good Raiders team, and I was just sitting there like enjoying myself in my Raiders gear, and I almost got murdered. And then the second time I went, we lost, but I almost got murdered again because I have a big yapper. So it is what it is. Where can we find your stuff, Aimee? And what are your handles? And what are you working on? Is more important.
Okay. So I'm Aimee Theresa 01 on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I don't really post much on TikTok. Kind of just lurk around. And I am working on writing. I have several screenplays in the works. 4. 3 are horrors, and I'm working on another thriller. And also trying to produce this other horror film with Danny. Yes, I'm going to keep working with him. I'll keep him around.
Yeah, he's okay, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm also very excited about Certifiable season 2. We have that'll be very exciting once that's ready to go.
Any hints on what kind of horror, what the horror movie is, what the genre of horror we're working on?
So I have several horror action comedies because I really like that as a genre.
It's a good genre.
I think I kind of like to laugh and be scared at the same time. So
yeah, Ghostbusters, Shaun of the Dead. Can't really go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Can't really go. Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman. You can't meet Frankenstein, I should say. You can't really go wrong with that kind. Okay. Yeah. Super excited. is that the horror comedy is what you guys are actually actively working on, or no?
No, that's a different script. Yeah. That's a little more. There's no comedy.
There's no comedy in that one.
Okay.
Horror. We could shout out. I mean, this is Tyler, who worked on Last Known Location. He's also a screenwriter. He was the homeless guy in Last Known Location. Plus, he worked on Crew. He's in the background 100 times and playing different extras. So yeah, he wrote Tyler Mulholland Gain. He wrote a horror film, and we're looking to get it made with a budget and maybe a couple of named talent per se. So it's a whole new journey for us on learning side.
So it's a serious horror movie. What kind of genre? You can't say.
I would say like it's definitely takes place mostly in one location, in a house. But I'll say it has a feeling of maybe Talk to Me a little bit to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Mm-hmm.
If folks haven't seen Talk to Me, you should.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. They also just did Bring Her Back. So Talk to Me and Bring Her Back are the two that are kind of like really good right now. Where can people find you, Danny? Where can people find your stuff?
Danny Donnelly official is my handle. I'm the official one. It's on Instagram and Facebook. Well,
just for clear, I can see her yanking you right back. Like, yeah, you're the official one. Yeah.
There's a funny story behind
Reel it in, buddy. Reel it in.
He's in a club of Danny Donnelly.
There's Danny Donnellys that we all found each other. So
there's more than one Danny Donnelly of working.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see you being head of president of this club.
The other one more successful than me. He's in the UK. He does EDM. He's crushing it. But
he's crushing it.
Yeah.
He's the successful Danny Donnelly. Damn it! I envy him.
No, we all found each other through social media. So there's like a Danny Donnelly club. There's one in Australia that I'm friends with too, and we also happen to do.
I love that you have your own club. I'm envious. I feel envious.
We're planning on doing a film with just us, so all the credits are just going to be Danny Donnelly. Be on the who do what.
And just call it Donnelly.
Donnelly.
It's like Bridgerton, but just Donnelly.
Yeah.
So Scrubs.
Oh, can we give
need Schitt's Creek with a clinical diagnosis. Art Sieber writes, I love how Jennifer McKay describes Certifiably Serious perfectly. What a great show. Ryan Russ, do whatever you want. I've said that before in different scenarios than this. That's weird. JW is a dick. That is true. The only one really thinking it, though, was Brian. Now, laugh out loud. And then Brandon writes, Jen and Amy's certifiable costumes are fabulous. Looking forward to season 2. Do I need to know what the costumes are? You can do it in costume. I'm super excited now. Actually, I don't want to know. I'm going to go watch Certifiable.
I was going to say everybody has to wear costumes.
That would be fun.
Okay. I can wear the best costume I've ever worn in my life. Well, I have two. I have two of my best costumes ever. I was on stage in college. I was in a Commedia dell'arte, like a Pirandello, right?
Oh, nice.
I was a clown that got beat a lot, that got hit for being a bad servant. So I had a black eye and I had giant hammer pants that were rainbow colored. Best costume I've ever had. And then the other costume I had for various Halloween costumes, I've been the Penguin from Batman Returns. So perfect for me. See, I'm very intensely fat, viable costumes. I don't want to be like a fat Spider-Man. I don't want to be like a fat Spider-Man. I could be, Doc Ock. You know what I mean? You gotta fat allowed.
People doing the Penguin from Batman Returns. So I mean,
he's right here. So it's the best figure I've ever gotten. I miss Philly, says Ryan West. Philly, where if we lose, we riot. We win, we riot. JW Go Birds, hashtag the troublemaker. Thank you, Brandon. I feel like that's 6. Yes, season 2 of Certifiable Series. And then Danny does Donnelly.
That's a good one.
I want to now. You guys can, of course, stick around. We have a couple things to do. We're going to do things we do regularly on the show. We'd love for you to stay, but if you have to go, we don't mind you leaving as well. But we are going to talk about some nerdy things, and Jerry usually has something super cool in his basement. So if you'd like to stick around, I'm going to open it up. But if you have to go, you tell me now, and I'll take you to the green room. You guys staying and partaking in our nerdiness for a couple minutes?
Maybe for a couple minutes. Yeah.
Okay, you're in. You're in. You're in.
JW, can I just give a quick shout out to the rest of our cast and crew who couldn't make it tonight?
Yes, name some people that were supposed to be here that are either sick like Allison or working.
Hickman, who played Keith, he wasn't able to be on tonight.
Very good guy next door. Very good guy next door. Jen was lucky to have him.
Yeah. Allison. So then we had Susan Dewey, who was the other bartender, who was the older bartender who was arguing with Jen's character, Marley.
Also hitting on Dax. Hitting on Dax's cop. That was the question she was going to get, by the way. And is there a different script there? Are they together?
Oh, that was Allison's character, right? That was hitting on Dax.
Yeah.
And then I also want to give a shout out to Keith Illidge, who played Danae's dad. And who else we have? We have Tyler, my brother Casey, who was involved. Nicholas Petros, who was a producer. Let's see, I'm going to lose my mind. Art, who's in the comments. He played the bartender that had to get questioned by the detectives. Anyone else? Am I missing? Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Anyone, guys?
That's Sophia.
Everybody you're missing, speak up.
Yes, of course. Sophia Lucia Frola.
And Jamie.
Oh, Jamie Kerezsi, who played the detective D'Alessandro.
She's fantastic. She was fantastic. Very, very good. Okay.
Andrew Hunsaker, who played the patient in the beginning and at the end of the film. Sophia's patient. Danae's patient. Yep.
Excellent. It's a great movie. I can't recommend it enough. Last Known Location. And now they join us for our craziness. Jerry, what's coming from your basement this week? It came from Jerry's basement. What do you got, Jerry?
So tonight we've got a couple things.
Krull on VHS.
Movie, Krull. This is the VHS of Krull.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's no joke.
The Krull
Just
Atari
so
game.
You fucking Krull on Atari?
Atari, yes, sir.
Oh, Jerry.
I have the Atari. That's not the only thing.
Jerry, I want to live in your basement.
So we've got the board game. Right?
Do you guys know what Krull is? Do any of you know what Krull is?
Look, it's the glaive.
The glaive.
I do not, but I'm interested now.
Okay, so Krull is a movie. Just so we're clear, and this is the Krull is a 1983 movie. 83. Thank you. A 1983 movie, and it is basically a fantasy movie. It is huge and sprawling. It's about these two kingdoms that come together to a prince and a knight and a princess. They're marrying because their world is being attacked by a character called the Beast. And she gets stolen and taken to the castle. And it's just this crazy fucking, it is an amazing sci-fi fantasy movie that bombed, but has a huge cult following. And it's a combination of like the Never-Ending Story and Star Wars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And also, like, the Beast is cool because his castle, the guy has to go and collect a bunch of people like Lord of the Rings to fight, but the castle every day at sundown randomly moves positions on the planet.
The best is when the glaive was in Ready Player One.
Yes, the glaive is the weapon that he collects so he can beat the Beast. It is fucking awesome. It's also intensely crazy and was a huge bomb, but it's one of the greatest movies ever made. And if you see it, you'll understand why. It's great. It has really great performances. There's a spider lady. It's got everything you can imagine. And the creature, like, there are stormtroopers, but they're not stormtroopers. They're actually lizard guys that are inside stormtrooper armor. So every time one gets shot, instead of like it just going down like a stormtrooper, the creature jumps out of the head and jumps into the ground. It is a phenomenal movie. It is so fucking cool. And the glaive just starts out as like a thing that he holds in his hand, but when he opens it, all of the knives come out and he fires it like he throws it like a star, but he has control over it. So it like, and it comes back to him and like it's amazing. It's one of the greatest movies. Jerry, I'm so fucking jealous that you have it on fucking Atari.
Your list,
I
Aimee.
hate you so much, Jerry. Okay. Now our other nerd segment before we end tonight. We call it the Twilight Zone Redux around here. We are working our way through every episode of the Twilight Zone. We are in season 3. We are in this is episode 22, season 3, episode 87 total of the show. Premiered on February 16th, 1962. And the show goes something like this. It is called, and I can't get anything to work. Perfect. Anyway, it's an episode called Piano in the House. Opening narration. Mr. Fitzgerald Fortune, theater critic and cynic at large, on his way to a birthday party. If he knew what is in store for him, he probably wouldn't go, because before the evening is over, that cranky old piano is going to play those piano roll blues with some effects that can happen only in the Twilight Zone. So basically, Barry Morse plays this guy, and he's a terrible human being. He's awful, terrible, and he's a theater critic, and he's in his, Jerry, would you say 50s? 40s, yeah. Late 40s, early 50s, and he's married to a 20-year-old. So it's like this, it's art imitating life in all kinds of horrible ways. And basically what happens is he buys this piano because his 26-year-old wife wants to learn to play piano. And instead of encouraging her and being nice to her, he buys her a rolled piano that will just play music. Because he's kind of a shithead and he's a bad person.
You're not good at it, so I bought you this.
You're not good at it, so I'm not going to buy you an actual piano. And basically, he's a theater critic, and he has all these like snobby friends. And the wife is kind of like, she seems miserable. And he gets the piano home, and like there's a guy that works in the house, like a butler, is super nice old guy. And he treats him like garbage right at the top of the episode. He's just like, I don't know why you're smiling. There's nothing to be happy about. And he's like, well, I work for you, sir, so I'm just trying to be happy. And the wife's like, why do you have to be mean to him? He's always nice to us. He makes us dinner. Like, the guy's just terrible. Anyway, as the episode progresses, he puts a roll into the piano and plays music. When he does, the butler reacts to the music and basically tells him everything that's actually in his head. Why he's happy, how nice his wife is, how even though he's mean to him, he still respects his being a critic, and he loves working at their house. And the guy sees this, and he's a critic, and he kind of understands. And as he understands that, he puts another roll in, and he plays it, and then he asks his wife a question. And she also admits to everything that's going on in her head. And he realizes that if he has a party set up for her later that night, and he has a way that whatever music he plays, he can pick anybody out of the crowd at the party, and every one of their thoughts will be they will say them out loud uncontrollably. And she begs him, let's not do this. This is a bad idea. We shouldn't do this. And as the Twilight Zone characters are wont to do, he doesn't care. And he invites everybody in. And there's like a chubby woman, and she's amazing, and she's vivacious and gregarious, and she is the life of the party. And he plays the music for her, and he embarrasses her. He basically, when she's thinking what she looks like and what she acts like, she doesn't think about her weight. She thinks she's a ballerina, and she loves life, and she has a certain, joie de vivre, and she loves life, and he embarrasses her and, takes it out. And she realizes that he's taken full advantage of like knowing everything that's going on in her mind, how she walks into a room, how she acts in this room. And everybody sees it as super cruel. and he puts in another record, and everybody's kind of like, as the record's playing, he doesn't know who it's going to impact. But of course, it impacts him, Jerry, right? And
Yes.
what he reveals to everybody, as everybody in the crowd starts watching, is that he not only respects and appreciates everybody that's in the room, but he despises them because they're all so talented. And
they're better than him. Yeah.
And they're better than he is. And at which point they all get up, and his life is in tatters and ruins as his young associate leaves with his wife, because they've been close to an affair, but they haven't consummated the affair yet. And his life is tattered and ruins. And the butler comes in, and he's like, "You're the only one left." And he goes, "No, sir, you're not fun anymore. And I'm leaving too." And he walks out on him. So he gets a traditional Twilight Zone ending, and he's just a terrible person. And the closing narration is one sentence. Mr. Fitzgerald Fortune, a man who went searching for concealed persons and found himself in the Twilight Zone. I had never seen this episode, Jerry. This is a great episode. He is a bad character. He gets his comeuppance in the Twilight Zone. Done. Boom. Wonderful episode. And we're in season 3. Season 3 has been spectacular, Jerry. I had never seen this one before. Directed by David Green, written by Earl Hamner Jr. Season 3, episode 22. And then next week we get the last rites of Jeff Myrtle back, with a big cast: Sherry Jackson, Dub Taylor, a bunch of people. A lot of fun. And we're only a few weeks away from some really big classics. For example, To Serve Man is coming up. Please join us for To Serve Man, which is one of the greatest episodes of television ever put on film. Last comments before we end the show and say goodbye to our guests. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot here. Hold on. Raven, who's usually here. JW's MC Hammer can't touch us. I need to see a pic of this. No, you don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. I'm only here to see what's in Jerry's basement. Jerry's got great stuff. 2 weeks ago, you guys weren't here, but 2 weeks ago, Jerry brought out a Godzilla with the firing hand. You know, the one that's worth about $1,000 a piece.
Oh, wow.
And working order, full working order in Jerry's basement. It's weird to be sober on a Tuesday. Raven, it's okay. It's okay. Glenn Macnow.
Oh yeah, Glenn was in our film. I forgot to mention Glenn. Glenn Macnow, great actor.
Glenn Macnow. How could we forget? Hot bartender. Thank you very much. Yeah, Danny said it, but he's also attracted to other Donnellys. Art. Relax. Everything's fine.
In the family.
Thanks out for the shout out, Danny Donnelly. Raven says that is definitely not the first time JW's asked to live in somebody's basement. Don't judge. Don't judge, Raven. It's a totally different basement than in last. It is a totally different basement than in last known location. That is true. Although you never know. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, the other part, the different part. That's so dope. I got to watch this and more of Jerry's Basement segments. Yes, come back. Everybody should come back. We're usually here every Tuesday at 9 p.m. live. We do all kinds of stuff. Kroll looks so dope. I got to watch it. More Jerry's Basement segments. Thank Art. We appreciate you.
Awesome,
the cast is looking at JW like he's on acid. No, I think they're looking at me like they want to burn me with acid. Let's get it straight, Raven. Especially Brian. Anyway.
Brian's like,
it's okay. Jennifer understands. I'm going back to the same joke because that's what an improv comedian is trained to do. Keep on going back. Such nerds. Yes. And proud and loud. And then Raven writes, laugh out loud. Okay. Where can people find the movie, Danny? Talk to me before we end the show tonight. It's been a great show. We're super excited to have you guys. And I had to put that on Brian. I feel bad now. Now he's going to be mad about that.
You can't win.
You can watch on location on Amazon Prime, on Roku, on Fawsome, on Plex, on Pluto TV, coming back to Tubi on March 1st.
March
For
1st.
a little bit coming back. And hopefully eventually, and YouTube, and eventually maybe globally available, but right now not, just mostly national.
You're on Fandango too, I think. Fandango.
Yep.
And then go home.
There's also a Spanish dub version as well out there right now on YouTube.
There's a Spanish, excellent.
On Tubi. So yeah.
Muy bueno on that.
Muy bueno.
If you like the show, if you want to see more of us having cool casts like the kids from Last Known Location, please like and subscribe to the IndieEscape Network on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter, or whatever the maniac is calling it this week, IMDb, all those places. You can also find us. We do a show every Tuesday night, Loud and Nerdy, Tuesdays at 9 p.m., where we have Jerry's Basement, where we have Twilight Zone Redux. And on Monday nights is my movie history show called Generation Movie. Right now we're doing our Oscar Decade Cavalcade, which to celebrate Oscar season. So we look at classic movies and why they're important. And this week we will be doing Around the World in 80 Days. We've picked Oscar winners that do not deserve to be Oscar winners this week. We started last night with The Greatest Show on Earth, which was terrible in every conceivable way and still won Best Picture against really good movies. And we're going to do that for the rest of the month. Last comment before we end. Shout out to Joe Ridgely for setting this up for awesome episode of Loud and Nerdy with these talented peeps. We appreciate Joe so much. He's the grand poobah of the IndieEscape Network. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank Danny and Jennifer and Brian, I guess, and Amy for joining us tonight. Everybody have a great week. Go see some movies and find Last Known Location. Have a great night. Stay safe. Bye.